Hi Aquarius, how's it going? We're here with your reading for mid-June. Welcome. First card that we have out is Four of Cups and Four of Wands. In this picture of the Four of Cups, it looks like it's going back into something, but the Four of Wands looks like, so the way that I read the cards, if anything is going this way, I see it as being sort of like facing the past or what's already happened, like whatever's in the front is like what's presently happening, and when the characters are facing this way, it's sort of like what's to come in the future, that sort of thing. If you look at these cards, this is the first card out, this is the second. If you look at this, you see how this energy is going in this direction, which can be something from the past. There can be like looking for emotional stability within this because it's the Four of Cups. Fours usually represent stability of some sort, but it can also feel like there's something that one may be searching for. And there can also be like a covering of what is already there, of what one already has. So this would be moving forward. This is the Four of Wands. This is going to be connected with like stability of some sort. It can be connected with a relationship. It can even be saying that something is good is something good is happening right now, or something that you've like worked for is happening, or something is stabilizing. But Four of Cups can be this feeling of almost like I'm still searching. So there can be something that like you can look at it and objectively be like, yeah, I guess that's good. But there can be something emotionally going on where it's like your attention is sort of elsewhere. So even though this may be standardly good, maybe you're not feeling it. You know, this is feeling like divided attention here. And Four of Cups can also be feeling like something's not resonating with you. That's why I feel like the aim being looking at something else instead of what this is. So even though standardly, again, this can feel good, maybe for where you are right now, it's just like not totally in resonance with you. And I'm seeing Ten of Swords here, which means that this can be something that's going to be closing out. But you can also feel too like things are sort of taking shape now. I want to get more info about this, because this can also mean that something that felt like at one time it provided this feeling of stability, or something that you regularly gave your energy to, you could be closing that cycle out. Like maybe that's something you're not going to be doing anymore. For some reason, this Four of Cups is feeling distracted to me. Almost like I have this to do and I have that to do and this thing over here, like almost not going in the direction of this thing where it's like everyone's like, why aren't you at like your birthday party yet, you know, like that type of thing. It's like, well, I have this to do and this to do over there, and it feels like the good thing that's in front of you, or that would be like standardly seen as being good, maybe something that like it hasn't really caught your attention, again because it's not like really resonating with you. And having this Four of Cups is feeling like you know when you're supposed to be somewhere, or it's like expected that your attention or feelings would be a certain way about something. Having Four of Cups is feeling like, but you're not feeling like that. And then also having Ten of Swords can feel like mentally maybe you're done with something. Maybe something is sort of over for you too with Ten of Swords. Like you can feel like enough has happened, or stuff has happened enough that maybe you feel like it killed it for you. That can be the feeling here with this. Knight of Pentacles and the Hermit. Hermit is Virgo. Okay. Ten of Swords. something can feel like it's done and over with, but it can still feel like the energetic weight of that is present still. Like a Ten of Swords can be like the situation's over, but there's still the impact that that situation left. And it can also be feeling too like something has not been revived, essentially. Now, having this Knight of Pentacles connected with the Hermit can be like someone over here thinking about something, thinking and then doing something about it. Having it face this Ten of Swords over here can be like, what are we going to do about this? Or like, what am I going to do about this? This is going to be like a slow and steady approach to address whatever this is. But it can be something that happens, because it's a Knight of Pentacles, it can be something that happens very, very slowly. Like there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of like movement that takes its time to build, like that type of thing. But it can feel like there's a sense of determination or focus on this. The thing as well is that like maybe one person wants to focus on this and the other person is like running away from it. I don't mean running away like not showing up at all, but it feels like maybe other things are feeling important right now. Like you see how this Knight of Pentacles, it's like they're fully facing this. So even if they're thinking about it, like Hermit can be this person like privately thinking about this stuff, like tossing it around, being like what to do, how to approach this, but like obviously fully focused on it. They're looking right towards it. But then if you look at the relationship between these two, which I'm seeing this be your energy, it's almost like I don't want to look at that and like go the other direction because you're not feeling it. That's what this Four of Cups would be connected with. Like I'm feeling other things right now, and so I'm gonna focus on that. This can, for some of you, this is something that happened within a relationship or some type of situation that you were normally engaging within. This can be something that's like an established force within your life. I see Four of Wands usually as like work stability or stability at home or like a relationship, a marriage, a living situation, you know, like those types of things where it's something that's like regularly there, that would be regularly tended to, and it's like the stability of the establishment of that thing. And so it kind of is like the well-being of whatever this thing is that's been built and potentially maintained, but something has happened that's connected with this. And Knight of Pentacles can be this feeling, if this isn't you, of somebody looking at this and being like, well, what do we do about this? Like feeling very focused on it and wanting to take a practical approach, but moving very slowly. And there can be this other energy over here that's sort of like not totally present to it. But it feels like, I don't get somebody just like running away and avoiding it, like even on purpose or consciously. This Four of Cups feels like I'm so busy, I have all of these other things to do, and is like just happens to also not be focusing on that. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. But the Four of Cups looks like I'm busy with this other stuff, you know, like I can't be like talking about this or focusing on this, or like I can't really participate right now. And that can also be that like one person feels like the other person isn't totally emotionally present as well, where one of them is like, I feel very focused on this and thinking about it and trying to problem solve, and there can be another energy that's like, well, I have all my other stuff in my life going on. It can be like that type of thing. Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, Seven of Wands, Ace of Cups. I'm gonna pull out one more. Ah, Seven of Swords. Interesting. Okay. This may be something that can feel a little bit difficult to hear, but it would be something that you know already. For those of you that you're resonating with this first energy that I'm seeing coming out, that is the Four of Cups, you may be needing to tend to the thing that's in front of you, but for some of you, like this is something that you would see repeated. This is not the first situation that you would recognize this behavior within yourself. For some of you, you tend to sabotage through avoidance, and it can be like this particular situation that's happening within of like, I'm busy. It's like, you need to know too with this Four of Cups, this isn't you being like, I don't want to do this anymore and I'm abandoning it. This is like, yeah, I do want to be here, but I have all this other stuff that I have to do. So it's like technically like valid excuses to not be participating in this. But if you look at it, I feel like you would recognize this as being some type of like shadow behavior that you do. So for some of you, you may not be fully like aware of it. It may be something that like it takes a little bit for you to catch on and be like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm avoiding something else, or like I'm not addressing what I need to address, or like I'm not being present and like dealing with what's in front of me. I'm doing other things instead of that. And so it's having you not be present to this thing that's in front of you. And you could even be at this point where that's something that you're becoming aware of, like maybe you're doing other things and not spending time reflecting. Because having Hermit and having Seven of Swords be connected can be like, I'm trying to find the answers, or I'm trying to understand something. But instead of taking the time to actually reflect, I'm doing other things so I can stay in this place of not really knowing what's going on, you know, because then if you do, you're going to have to do something about it, and maybe you don't want to admit that to yourself yet. And so if you keep busy with other things, you can keep not addressing this thing that potentially would need to be addressed. Like something needs to happen here, steps need to be taken. Having Knight of Pentacles would suggest that like something needs to get moving. It doesn't have to be anything wild, but it's like the ball needs to start rolling. But first there needs to be a thinking about things in order to actually figure out what moves to make. And I'm wondering too if like something was potentially proposed to you and you may have been like also not tending to that too. Like somebody could have maybe said something, or there's something that you need to do. Having Hermit is like inaction. So you see Knight of Pentacles come up where it's like you think something's going to be happening, or someone could have already made a move, but then Hermit is like not doing anything with that. It's kind of like staying in a space of like, I'm not going to answer that message, or like whatever this is. And this does seem like it's something that is like an important thing within your life, or it's something that is like a big thing within your life, or a significant thing in your life. I get the feeling too that if like you ended up taking care of this stuff like 6 months down the line, you looked back at this time and you were doing what you're doing now, you could look back at it and be like, I should have handled that differently. And I'm wondering too if that's going to be like more of an indicator of what to do here, because like from what I'm seeing, you have something in front of you, but it's potential, and that means that what you do with it is going to matter. So if you keep doing all these other things, this is going to wither away. But if you decide to nurture it, then it's something that could potentially grow. But you could be in a space where instead of like making a choice about it, you're doing all of the other things, and then that's also going to be a choice too, but you could be telling yourself like you still haven't made a choice yet, is what this is feeling like. I do think too that some of this stuff may have come about because of I'm seeing something that needs to be tended to in a way where harmony and stability is what it needs to be nurtured by. But I'm seeing like the person who's minding this not it be like an erratic energy, you know. It's like we need somebody here 24/7 to take care of this, and like you have somebody that's coming in for like 7 hours at a time and then leaving. Like I'm seeing something like that where if there is the intention to nurture the Four of Wands, which would be again like this thing that's been built, that it takes effort to keep it functioning the way that it's supposed to. Having Knight of Wands here will be this inconsistent energy of like, sometimes I show up and give it my all and then sometimes I don't, you know, like sometimes I'm here and then sometimes you can't find me. It can be like that type of thing where there's like a very inconsistent energy, and it can make things challenging because of that, where it's like if something needs like a more consistent energy nurturing it, but there's one that's showing up again, like Knight of Wands is going to be an inconsistent energy, can be something where things are not constantly functioning in a harmonious way because there's inconsistent effort or inconsistent focus more so. I do get this feeling of a choice that needs to be made. This can be like making up your mind about something, or it can be like fully looking, fully seeing what you're gonna do. So, having Ten of Swords and having Seven of Wands be connected with one another here, there can be a situation that's closed out, although still very much present. So again, sort of like the after effects of this. Having Seven of Wands here is going to be about sort of like standing up for something, you know, like whatever this is that you want to stand for, like being true to yourself about whatever that is, whatever it may be given this situation. So this is like showing your true colors about like how you really feel or what you're thinking. Is sort of like defending your position. But I almost get like that wasn't necessarily happening. Like it's like everybody waiting around to see like what you're gonna say about this or like this other person. Because this even feels like needing to show up now after the fact in whatever way is true to you. Like that's also, I see this specific Seven of Wands as just like shining your light in a way and like standing in your truth and behaving in a way that's like fully aligned with like authentically what you're feeling, no matter what that might be. But it may be challenging to do that given the circumstances, the recent past circumstances. You can feel almost like something is weighing on you mentally in a way that makes it hard for you to show up the way that would feel most natural for you. Having Knight of Pentacles and having Ace of Cups can be somebody showing up, whether this be you or this be the other person that's involved in this, and being like, this is the door that I want to open with you, like proposing this thing. But then again, like having Hermit and having Seven of Swords here can be like still not doing anything about it, like not addressing it, not thinking about it, like putting it off. This is kind of feeling like procrastinating a bit too. But again, I'm seeing it almost be like, well, I'm not doing nothing. I have these other things that I'm doing. So it's almost like excusable, but not really, because like you kind of know what you're doing here through this. And even though you may have like a valid excuse, you also know that it just happens to be the perfect excuse not to have to address this, like that type of thing. Also, having Hermit and Seven of Swords can be like keeping certain things to yourself when you've already like realized, or you already know things and they need to be said, but it could be potentially benefiting you not to address them or not to say something. And so it can be, it feels like an omission of sorts, where it's like, well, if I say something, then I'm gonna have to deal with it or whatever. It can be like that type of thing. So I'm just gonna like not do anything at all here, or anything besides that. I'm gonna do anything besides this. So basically, all in all, what I'm seeing here, especially to have these two aces down in the second part, it's like, what's going to be done with an opportunity in front of you that you may actually not be feeling the most interested in. Four of Cups and Ace of Wands is kind of like, it would be you being presented with something, or like a door opening, and you're sort of like looking at what's behind it and being like, I'm not really interested, but like didn't really say that, like didn't technically say that. Or just could be like not feeling something right now, where you're like, maybe I'll want to go through it later, but just like doing other stuff instead. But like, you know that the door is open, and this feels for some reason like there is some type of time frame here. And even though I'm not seeing specifically what it is, it feels like that's also an aspect of this as well. Because I do get the feeling of someone waiting. Like having this Knight of Pentacles and having Ace of Cups is somebody that's like holding the door open for you, like waiting to see if you want to go through it or not. And you being like, keep the door open, keep the door open, keep the door open, but like haven't necessarily said something. So that can be a big part of this. Again, strong Virgo energy that I'm seeing here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.